Tonight, we will begin council meeting with a prayer. I'm catching him off guard with Councilman Braddock.
You fine. I'm ready.
And also the pledge,
Mine's at heart, folks.
and the pledge be led by Councilwoman Wiggins, if you will, please.
Minds and hearts centered on the Lord.
Gotta talk loud.
Hearts and minds centered on the Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Father God, for waking us up this morning, Father God. Father God, we ask for you to reach the minds and the hearts as we make decisions for our city, Father God. Father God, we ask you to bless the leaders, Father God, our elderly, our youth, Father God. And Father God, we ask for you to bring this meeting into harmony, Father God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everything is so discombobulated, I'm used to looking this way. Now I have to look this way. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Sylvia.
Present.
Councilmember Seals is absent. Councilmember Balls.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Present.
Councilmember Ostash.
Present.
Councilmember Braddock.
Present.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Present.
Councilmember Hammond.
Present.
And Mayor Moore.
Present.
You have 8 members present and 1 absent.
Thank you. We want to start off this evening welcoming everybody to our city council meeting. Little housekeeping. All council people, please put your phones on silent, as well as your computers. Audience, I ask that you do the same. Please put your phones on silent. This meeting, I used to say was aired, but it's on YouTube and on our channel tonight. Madam Clerk.
Here we have one announcement this evening. It's that the convenience station, excuse me, will be open this Saturday, June 14th, from 8 a.m. to noon. Residents may utilize the station to drop off bulky items or other miscellaneous items. We have a proclamation on the agenda this evening. It's declaring June as Pride Month.
Do we have representatives from Pride? Please step to the podium. The proclamation will be read by Councilman Ostash.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome. City of Saginaw proclamation, whereas in the movement towards equal rights for two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender 2SL LGBTQ+ people, a historic turning point occurred on June 28, 1969 in New York City with the onset of the Stonewall riots. During these riots, led by the transgender women of color, the queer community rose and fought back against discriminatory laws that have since been declared unconstitutional. And whereas Pride celebrations have taken place around the country every June to commemorate the beginning of the Stonewall riots. And whereas June is celebrated as Pride Month nationwide. And whereas Great Lakes Bay Pride, a local nonprofit, works to connect the 2SL LGBTQ+ and the allied communities to resources and education, offering networking opportunities and advocate for civil rights in the Great Lakes Bay region and beyond. And whereas our nation was founded on the principle of equal rights for all people, but the fulfillment of this promise has been long in coming for many Americans. Some of the most inspiring moments in our history have arisen from the various civil rights movements that have brought one group after another from the margins to the mainstream of American society. And whereas the City of Saginaw supports the rights of every citizen to experience equality and freedom from discrimination, and on April 12, 2021, the City Council passed a resolution in support of recognizing lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer questioning individuals as a protected class. Now, therefore, I, Brenda F. Moore, Mayor of the City of Saginaw, do by here proclaim June 25th as June 2025 as Pride Month, and urge residents to celebrate with our members of the 2SL LGBTQ+ community, and furthermore recognizing the contributions made by these members of this community to actively promote the principle of equality, liberty, and justice. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Saginaw to be fixed this 9th day of June in the year of our Lord, 2025. Brenda F. Moore, Mayor. Council members Priscilla Garcia, Mayor Pro Tem, Michael D. Balls, Carly R. Hammond, Heidi G. Wiggins, Monique Lamar Sylvia, Bill Ostash, Eric D. Braddock Sr., and Jacinta Seals, and Tim Morales, our city manager.
Don't fight, please have words.
We are so grateful to the City of Saginaw as members of the Board of Great Lakes Bay Pride. Saginaw has long been a haven for the LGBTQ community, and I can personally say that Saginaw being so supportive of Pride makes me very proud to be a resident of Saginaw.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk,
Mayor, that takes us to public hearings.
the purpose of a public hearing is for the public to address council as a whole, and as for council to hear the comments from the speaker regarding a specific action being requested. Speakers must limit their remarks to the subject of the public hearing. Please state your name and if you are in support or in opposition of the hearing. The main speaker, who is the designated speaker, has 10 minutes. Any speaker after has 3 minutes. This is not a question or answer period. This is only, so in other words, don't ask any council people to speak. This is a public hearing. Madam Clerk.
Our first public hearing is regarding the official intent to reimburse project expenditure with bond proceeds and authorizing publication of notice of intent to issue sewage disposal system revenue bonds through the State of Michigan Clean Water State Revolving Fund Program.
Do we have anyone here to speak to this matter? Do we have anyone here to speak to this matter? Third and final time. Do we have anyone here to speak to this matter? I need a motion to close this hearing.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our second public hearing is regarding the official intent to reimburse project expenditure with bond proceeds and authorizing publication of notice of intent to issue water supply system revenue bonds through the State of Michigan Drinking Water Revolving Fund Program.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak to this subject? Is there anyone here who would like to speak to this subject? Third and final time. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to this subject? I need a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
That takes us to public input.
Speakers will remain courteous and respectful to everyone. This is also not a question or answer period. The clerk will call you to the podium. You have 3 minutes to discuss the issue that you want to discuss. You have 3 minutes. There is a clock with a timer on it. Madam Clerk.
Our first speaker is Jimmy Carter.
Mr. Carter.
I don't see Jimmy Carter. On to Chandelier Yarn. I don't see Miss Yarn either.
City Hall.
Signs. How about Melanie Velasco?
I walked over, it was raining, and guess what I did? I went across the bridge. I've seen that did that, but I did. Anyway, there's a lot of terrible roads in this thing. In Saginaw, there's a lot of them, and Webster's got a lot of bumps. And we have a lot of houses that are condemned and abandoned. This is horrible. And the sidewalks are very bumpy and dangerous. And the speed limit in neighborhoods needs to be posted. The children are going to be out playing their future. They are our future. And we have to protect them. So basically, that's it. When's the bridge and all that stuff going to be done? I can't do that. Okay, thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you, council.
Our next speaker is Diane Clark.
Good evening. My name is Diane Klock. I live at 2112 Gratiot Avenue, Saginaw, and I am on the Board of Trustees for the Public Libraries of Saginaw, but I am not speaking for the board. I wanted to be sure that all of you know that the Public Libraries of Saginaw summer reading program is in full swing. To get started, all you have to do is pick up an age-appropriate reading record, log the time you spend reading or listening to someone else read. Children from birth to 12th grade get a book when they sign up and another book when they complete their reading log. Adults get a prize when they've completed their logs. This summer, there is a plethora of activities sponsored by each branch to encourage and entertain. For example, Buttman Fish has a live animal show. The Small House Farm will be at Hoyt to talk about teas, tinctures, and oils. Tomorrow at Wicks Library is a make and take greeting card activity, and Zoll Library hosts Miss Beth's Boombox Story Time. The library hosts 13 different book clubs. Got it here somewhere. There. 13 different book clubs if you like to have a group to discuss a book with, and a 14th silent book club where we meet at the Red Eye and read together. We all know that reading in the summer is important for children, tweens, and teens, so they don't lose the progress they have made during the school year. However, because both of my parents had dementia when they passed away, I have been researching activities that protect the cognitive function of adults. Study after study shows that reading, as well as other activities, are beneficial to prevent cognitive decline. Recently, I read a study that suggested that reading novels where you have to follow a plot line and the development of characters can be especially helpful. Who knew that something as much fun as reading could be so beneficial? So I encourage you to read to your kids, your grandkids, your spouse, or your favorite pet. Listen to an audiobook while you are cleaning the house, weeding the garden, or laying on the beach. Let children read to you. It counts as hours on your log sheet, too. Maybe they are more comfortable reading to your favorite pet as well. All I ask is that you just read. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Thomas Roy.
Greetings, Honorable Mayor Moore, Honorable Pro Tem Garcia, council members, city manager, and city clerk. My name is Thomas Roy, and I reside at 4283 North Autumn Ridge in Saginaw Township. And this is Cole, and he resides at, I don't know.
2016 Cooper Avenue, Saginaw, Michigan.
So I'm the president of Saginaw Area Fireworks, and joining me this evening is our secretary, Cole Starkey. We are proud to stand before you tonight and express our sincere appreciation for the hard work your staff, including Phil over there, to do the preparing Ojibwe this year. Because of your efforts, we are excited to present another outstanding fireworks show right here in the city of Saginaw this 4th of July. Before I continue, I want to share some of the we are very proud of. This is the largest fireworks show on July 4th in the state of Michigan. Larger than Bay Cities, just so you know. Have a little competition with them, so understand. Yeah, I know, sad. We are honored to host this event in Saginaw, and we strive to make a celebration that reflects the positivity of the city, its leadership, and its residents.
Our July 4th celebration is,
You would have had to sign up.
oh, that's perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
so Tom, you'll have to.
Okay. You can't, okay. Damn, I thought it already. Our July 4th celebration is more than just fireworks. The day begins early with one of our most inspiring traditions. At 9 a.m., we gather volunteers on the Court Street Bridge to raise the giant 80 by 50 flag over the Saginaw River. I'd like to thank Mayor Moore for helping last year's flag raising and nearly going swimming in the river. Sorry. I'd like to thank her and Priscilla, Pro Tem Garcia and Councilman Bilashash for helping raise the flag. It takes approximately 100 to 150 people to hoist the flag, and we welcome anyone who wants to join us. Following the flag raising, your own former city clerk, Diane Mackel, sings the national anthem, and then a local dignitary leads the Pledge of Allegiance. All volunteers receive commemorative T-shirts and Kona Ice treats and that are provided. Thanks to the generosity of Delta Steel, Mike's Wrecker, and McNally's Crane Service. Due to ongoing construction on Ojibwe Island this year, we'll scale back some of the daytime festivities, but rest assured, we are preparing for an even bigger and better fireworks show. A word of advice for attendees, the best viewing is along the riverbanks of the Saginaw River. You won't want to miss the half the show by watching from a less ideal spot. You get there early and enjoy the full display. Lastly, I want to recognize and thank the outstanding members of our public safety teams who make this event possible and safe. The Saginaw Fire Department, the Saginaw City Police Department, Sheriff Bill Feddersfield and his deputies, and the Michigan State Police. We appreciate everything you do to protect and serve our community. We hope that Mayor Moore and every member of this council will join us July 4th to celebrate the nation's independence and the community. Thank you again for your continued support. I'm sorry. I had to rush that through there.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Carla Lamar.
Okay. So good evening. I'm Carla Lamar. I reside at 406 North Hamilton. I'm in condo unit 103 here in the city. I wanted to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you this evening regarding an agenda item that you will hopefully be approving tonight. I want to express my gratitude for all that you and others have done and continue to do for our community. I'm excited to adopt the West Side Park. In the event you are unaware of its location, it is on Niagara Street between Ames and Hancock, right on the river. It is directly behind the Extreme Arts Building. It has a beautiful dock area for fishing access or just to sit and enjoy the scenery. Originally, just wanting to be more involved in the city, I was going to take on the park all by myself, but I quickly realized that it would take more than just my efforts. So I've enlisted the efforts from my husband Greg and our daughter Morgan, and will also be partnering for future endeavors with the Old Town Association. Additionally, I'll be working with Alex DePerry on lighting improvements for the surrounding area with the consumers, which I'm sure will come back to this council at some point. I am not asking for any additional resources at this time. Some of the upgrades will just be minor and will be continuous, such as trash pickup and broken glass cleanup, weed pulling and such. We'll be planting some perennials and putting down some mulch to maintain the beautiful flower beds. I will also be purchasing some simple gray paint to paint over some of the offensive graffiti that's down there. Again, just putting some simple weed killer with vinegar and soap water just to get some of the continuous weeds out. I just wanted to come here tonight to offer a little bit of background regarding the park and my participation as you consider approving my request to ensure this area continues to remain a safe and clean area for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, the last speaker on your list actually canceled prior to the meeting, so we're going to move on to remarks of council.
Council members, you have 3 minutes also. We will start tonight with Councilwoman Wiggins.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome, everyone, and thank you to everyone that spoke. Thanks to our city staff for being here as well. I want to extend congratulations to all our 2025 graduates. It was a great weekend of celebration. I want to say congratulations to the graduate that got all the accolades and all the funds and all the college potential promises, and the ones that just kind of skidded by. It's an accomplishment, and congratulations. So I'm very proud of you. There were a lot of great events this weekend in Saginaw. I hope you got to be a part of at least some of them. There were things going on at the Y. There were things going on at SVRC. I got to paint part of the mural this weekend. That was a great time. I appreciate Jamie for Jamie Force for being a part of letting me know about that as well. Shop Sensational, there are a lot of things going on. So I want you to be encouraged to be involved, take hold of this city and know what's going on, because there are great things. Bad news tends to, go faster than good news, but there's a lot more good news out there, so I hope that you take a part of that. And that being said, I encourage engagement for all of our citizens in the community. It's kind of easy to sit back behind a computer or Facebook or a telephone and say, there's nothing going on, or this is terrible, this place is just horrible. Ask yourself before you type that, what am I doing to make it better? There are a lot of things that you can do in this community. There are a lot of great organizations out there that are doing great things every day, boots on the ground. I ask that you go arm in arm with those organizations, whether it be a church, whether it be anything. If your passion is painting, there's probably something out there that you can be involved in. There's like different ministries. If you want to give away food, there's always things going around. So ask yourself what you can do to help, and I encourage you to do so. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Hammond.
Thank you, Mayor. So yes, it was a busy few weeks in Saginaw City, so there's a few things that I wanted to update on. I went to the meeting hosted by MDOT in the city of Saginaw. That was, half of it was about the Safe Streets initiative, and then the other half was about the MDOT SynCar study, I believe is the group, right? SynCar study. So I was very excited about that because I live downtown right next to the highway that they are studying, so I'm very well aware of what's going on and how that highway has inhibited a lot of our, not just our business activity, but just overall the feel of a downtown. So I was really excited to go to that. They've been doing a study. Basically, the main points of that so far was that they did some initial traffic studies and they found out that the roadway isn't backed up at all. The traffic is very, very smooth all the time, even during rush hours. I think the only lower score was during that intersection by the Dow Event Center because there was some construction going on. But it's very good news for what's called a road diet, which is potentially lessening the lanes there, lowering the speeds. So they were very positive about that when I was talking to folks at MDOT, and I was just very encouraged by the conversations happening there. So if you're for walkability, if you're for growing local businesses, you should be excited about this initiative. I'm also excited that now our contracts are available to view by citizens and anybody. So if you go to the Agenda Center for where we put up our agendas every couple weeks when we have these meetings, the hyperlinks for those contracts are highlighted in the actual agenda. So it's not in a separate center. It's just if you click the contract, you can go there. I'm very excited about it. Also, we are now accepting applications for our Human Rights Commission. This is something that was passed on 2021. We passed a Human Rights Commission. However, it wasn't up on our website until a few weeks ago. And that actually came to my attention due to a couple people who were here talking about some housing justice issues. And I wanted to make sure that I got all of the group names correct, but I didn't have time to refer to it. So I believe Candace Thomas was part of that group, but I wanted to make sure to give them a shout out. And there are, we're appointing 2 positions tonight. That's a 5-member board. Citizens can join, council members cannot. So if you're interested in that, check that out on the site and apply. So thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Sylvia.
Thank you so very much. Excuse me, I left my glasses again. You have any help for me? So I'm going to try to wing it tonight. First of all, I'd like to say thank you so very much for coming to your city council meeting this evening. I won't say much because I can't see much. But I'd like to say, first of all, thank you for all the magnificent, say that word anyway, citizens in Saginaw and the Saginaw County for Wear Orange. It is a national movement for national awareness of gun violence. and Saginaw was in the house. We had several different people doing different things, you know. So on Friday, we had Elaine Jackson. She did something. It was an awesome turnout. She's a school teacher here in the city of Saginaw. Also, we had Mothers Against Violence. They did something on that Saturday. So there's enough room for everyone. So also the city of Saginaw, we had our orange out there, and the Dow Event Center had everything lit up in orange. Citizens had their little orange lights out, you know, little bitty flickers or whatever. I also like to say that if anyone can, if they'd like to donate or get in contact with Mr. Alex Griffin, he's in need of materials. He's helping build some handicap ramps on his own, and he's just looking for materials. Anybody that want to help, that'd be awesome. A lot of you all know him for the help that he's been doing in the city, so shout out to him, and anyone that would like to help him donate, you know, a couple pieces of wood or a whole lot of wood, you know, that would be awesome. So, and I also was at MDOT and put my few little cents in, and I would like to see the 6th Street Bridge, that I'm dating how old I am, and some of you all may know, but I think that would be so beneficial. Maybe we can look at that or whatever. That would help Carlton, Zilwaukee, Saginaw, Coxville. It would be an awesome thing. I don't know costs or anything like that, but just to have that bridge back open would be an awesome, it might be tiresome, but it'd be an awesome feeling. It'd be something to think about, or maybe even a study done on opening the 6th Street Bridge back up to all of the surrounding communities, and also Saginaw. A lot of businesses closed because that bridge never reopened. Thank you very much. You have a blessed rest of the day.
Next, we have Councilman Ball.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to welcome the people here to the city council meeting today. I don't really have a lot to say, but there's a lot of things going on in the city of Saginaw. It seems like when June hits, the place just lights up. A lot of activities is going around in the city. I would advise anybody to participate in them because we do have a good time. The women that did the march the other day was a beautiful thing. I had the opportunity to do some volunteer work for them, but I couldn't participate in the march. But you know, we have some issues here in the city of Saginaw, and I'll hope and pray that the police chief and everybody that works with him has less work to do this summer. I don't care in what form or fashion they do less work, but it would be better for our city if they had less work to do. Maybe they can all just, hopefully they can all just play basketball or catch or something like that. But, you know, I know, you know, we have some issues, you know, and the only way I can see those issues getting resolved or helping out a little bit is by people volunteering their time. And I'd like to personally thank everybody that volunteered their time to the citizens of the city of Saginaw. Believe me, as a volunteer myself working in the Big Brothers and Sisters program, it really does something to my heart when I can help a young kid, just show them a couple of things or whatever. You know, when you work with kids, you're working with people that's going to be adults one day, and they really appreciate that. I had an opportunity today to show a guy, he didn't know how to put air in a tire, and he's 12 years old. You know, I couldn't believe it, but he don't have a father at home. Ain't nobody teaching him, you know, but he knows now. So, you know, I just thank God for giving me the opportunity to be able to help out, because I know it do help our citizens out a lot, you know, when they can have somebody to help mentor them. You know, I come to find out the word mentoring only means that men touring kids through life. And women could do the same thing, and a lot of women do that, and I thank God for the people to do mentoring and try to help out our citizens that has fallen down to alcohol and drugs and hard times and stuff like that, because they do make the city a better place when we can help them out. So thanks for letting me share that. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Ostash.
Thanks, Mayor. Welcome everybody to the chamber tonight. Just a few thank yous. Actually, there's a couple of folks that are in the audience tonight, so thank you, Jack Taney, our Saginaw County Commissioner, for joining us, and I did see our Planning Commission Chair here, John Mill. Also, I just want to give a thank you to a gentleman in the city. I work with him at the Y. His name is Carl, and he's been out here cleaning up the city, trimming trees, picking up trash. I even told him I got some trash bags for him. So I just want to give a shout out to Carl and tell him thank you, and also that he was wondering about Phil, and I said, yes, Phil, Carl does thank you too. So anyways, just thanks, Carl. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll stay connected. I also want to thank our city manager, who does connect me when there are issues going on in the city. So I've had some road repair, thank you, Phil. They're taking care of some manhole covers that were kind of deteriorating, causing issues. And also, I had a resident this week that son just forgot to pay the water bill, and she's home recovering from a hip surgery, and she has a newborn grandchild that's staying there with her, so and her son. So anyways, thank you for that. They jumped on that. We got the water turned back on. She didn't care about paying the fee, but it was a mistake on their part, but you helped me out within a couple of hours, and I appreciate that. The proclamation for Pride tonight, the ladies mentioned that we're very accepting in our city. And back in 1994, part of our housing ordinance did also include, amongst all the other discriminatory things like race, colors, sex, religion, but it also included sexual orientation. So Saginaw has been kind of on the forefront in this area. So thank you for being so open to equality in our city, because I feel it's for everybody that lives here. And also, Diane, you spoke about the reading program, so I'm not going to have to cover that tonight, so thanks for bringing that up from the library systems. Tom and Cole, thank you for coming out and talking about the fireworks. I'm looking forward to being there this year. I'll be there to raise the flag again, so thanks for all you do for putting that on for the city, because it is one heck of an event. And Carla, thank you for taking the initiative to adopt a park in our city. I really hope that goes through. I did that in my neighborhood on Wooddock and Hoyt. It's very rewarding. You'll get a lot of people that will stop by. Sometimes they want to help you out. So thank you for taking that on. And yes, lots was going on in the city, Councilwoman Wiggins. So much that I was not able to attend a lot of it. Some of it's because my niece graduated from college and I had that on Saturday, but I was able to attend the March for Gun Violence and be down at Morley Plaza with the help group, Moms Demand Action. Every town was there too, and it was a well-attended event. I was there with Mayor Moore. Councilman Braddock was there as well. I saw him in the audience. So I just want to thank all these women that do what they do, because it is not easy for them, and I realize that when I'm there. I can see their pain. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Braddock.
Good evening, everyone. Thank y'all for coming to y'all meeting. Yes, like everyone else said, that there's a lot going on this weekend. I had the opportunity to host the event, Gun Violence Symposium. Honorary M.T. Thompson spoke. I'd like to thank him for speaking. Also, Tamara Tucker spoke, gave testimony on her situation there. And also we had the Officer Brady, who spoke as well, the police officer. So that it went well. Gun violence has been the issue. Everyone is really focused on the youth, and so we know that the school is ending here soon in the next week. And so I also had a meeting with meeting with the Michigan Works director and a host of other people. And there are jobs available for our kids from 14 to 24. So sign them up, go down to Michigan Works, get the youth down there involved for this summer. The youth looking for jobs. 14 and up are looking for jobs. So, if you have, any business owners in the crowd or anything, if you have anything available for these youth, reach out. And so I think that should be, one of the focus this summer is our youth, make sure they're not idle, and make sure that the sheep ain't caught with the wolves, right, Police Chief? And so, other than that, that's all I have for right now. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Good evening, concerned citizens of the community. I would like to take the time to thank the speakers that came out this evening. Ms. Diane from the public libraries. I've been utilizing the library forever, especially the Buttman Fish. I live close by there. And I would take my daughter as a child, and she remembers, and we'd get the T-shirts and then the little water bottles and stuff. And now my grandson moved right around the corner from me, not too far, so now I'm gonna start taking him and take him to go see those animals. So thanks for bringing that, so now I can share with my daughter. So if I can't take him to everything, she can help. Also to Thomas Roy, thanks for the shout out. It's always a good time with the fireworks and raising the flag. There's so many people that come out at such a great time, and he had me at Kona Ice this year. So last year it was hot as heck, but you did a good job of keeping us hydrated. And also, yes, to Miss Lamar, I had the honor to do the clean up the city and didn't realize how messy we can get and throw things out. So that's awesome that you're going to step up and do that, because not everybody has that capability of wanting to help their community. And it starts off like that, and it's kind of a conversation starter like I experienced with my colleague Bill when we were down there cleaning up. And you'd be amazed how many people are not aware of, like, I didn't even know the name of the little park we were at, but we were cleaning it up, and I'm a Saginaw resident. But you just get to meet a lot of new different people, so that's awesome to you and your family doing that. And then you're teaching your children as well, you know, giving back to the community. And that's what it's all about, you know, stewardship while we're here passing through. And I also wanted to say Habitat is coming up this week, starting tomorrow. The neighborhood revitalization program, and I've been doing that the last couple of years. I just go out there and look, and I actually end up painting some shutters for a senior lady. They needed help, and they are looking, so I was like, why not join the party? So I was doing that. So that'll be going on this week and next week, and they're still looking for volunteers from my understanding. They have the awesome home maintenance classes. I mean, there's a lot of great programs. They have a newsletter, and this is actually one of my friends that got that. And then also, really quick, at the MAC Center, June 19th, we're collaborating with Consumers Energy to do some home improvements where they can do like your energy efficiency. So 6 to 8, they're gonna have hot dogs and I think chips, something like that for the kids. And then also to my friends, good luck. I know starting Friday, they're gonna open up the Old Town Distillery back up, their Wonder Burger, so I'm excited to see how that goes and maybe get a sample in and see what they're offering. So some excited things going on in our neighborhood, and you know, like they said, oh, Saginaw's boring, we're moving forward. We have great programs, and we're blessed with so many organizations and volunteers that are willing to step up and help. And you can do your part too. If you're looking for volunteers, there's always something posted, and I always do community alerts, so if you're on my Facebook, I'm always posting. Thank you guys, have a good night, God bless.
Okay, it's my turn. It's already been, as they say, protocol has already been set. All of the thank yous to the speakers. I just need to clear the air on one subject, me falling in the river. They told me to hold the flag. They never said let it go. And so, it's not funny, Mr. Ward. No, we ain't got no video on that. Crazy. But anyways, I encourage everybody, and look at even off this corner over here laughing. Y'all laughing at me? Y'all got to be crazy. So, this weekend was really full. It started off with Jazz on Jefferson. I had the honor and the privilege to run into my colleagues, Councilwoman Hammond, Councilman Ostash, and I don't know if anybody else is there. It was raining, but it was still fun. I got an opportunity to hear some bands inside of, I don't know the name of the church, in front of Team 1.
United Methodist.
United Methodist. And then we went from there to the library, and I just walked the whole court. On Saturday, it was really fun. It was that little walk that I said I couldn't do, and I did do it. But not only did I do it, I just happened to be walking with an elderly lady who had just had back surgery. But yeah, her child, her grandchild or her child, one of them, she was one of the mothers. And she was so determined to walk that walk. So it took us a little longer to get back, but we had a great conversation, and Chief Ruth, the officer that you sent, the young man, was so courteous. We got maybe from where Isabella Bank is, she had to go back to Morley Park. The officer literally came and helped assist us so she could finish the walk, and she was truly excited. On Saturday, I went down to, well, I did it Friday too. But on Saturday, I had an opportunity to go down to the shopper fair, whatever it was, Shopperanda, whatever. But anyway, I need you to understand, when I hear people say there's nothing to do in Saginaw, that disheartens me. Because this weekend was full, and I'm not talking about the Freaknik. Okay, I'm not talking about that. There were a lot of positive things that went on in this city this weekend. So, I'm like Councilman Balls and the rest of my compadres up here. If you want to do something, all you have to do is get with a council person that we can see what we can arrange. The city is growing. It's a new season, and it is a new day. Thank you.
Mayor, that takes us to reports from the manager.
Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and first I do want to piggyback on what Councilman Hammond said about the M13 study. I do encourage everyone to comment to MDOT on that, because that traffic flow does have a huge impact on development down there, and especially one of our goals is to get more residents living in the city. If you want them to get living downtown where they do have apartments and want to develop more, that has a huge impact. We've been trying to get that done for years, traffic calming, road diet, and I think we've probably been working on this for at least 2 or 3 years with MDOT. So they've never been really accepting of that, so they seem to be now, and they're looking for input. So when they give a no pun intended, but a green light to do something, hopefully we can move quickly. I know public services and streets do have plans on what they can do. They've been working with Spicer and proposing some of these things to MDOT. So if they approve that, I think it'll be incumbent upon us to move quickly to do that, because as we know with state agencies, when there's turnover, people change, and policies can change very quickly. So I think that's a really positive study. Also, I do want to mention STARS is having a public hearing tomorrow, Tuesday, June 10th at 6 p.m. in the STARS boardroom, 615 Johnson Street, to talk about some changes that they will probably be making soon. So if you have an opportunity to go there, encourage people to go there as well. And they also, if you can't make it, they have a survey, STARS Partner and Ride surveys, that are open until this Thursday, June 13th. So we'll make sure that we put that out on our social media so people can get links to do those surveys, especially if they can't make the board meeting. We also, you may have seen if you were down at the riverfront, there's some activity down there in Potoff Park that Art and About is doing. Art and About is a summer art initiative to bring art and inspiration to downtown and old town areas of Saginaw every summer. So if you remember some of the projects that we've seen over the past, the painted pianos, the stars, or the Saginaw sign that's right out here, those are Art and About projects. So their current project that they've been working on is a river gazer sculpture, and they're going to have an unveiling of that next Tuesday, June 17th at 3 p.m. The sculptor is Ryan Gregory, and this will be permanently placed on the riverfront. So I want to thank the Art and About Committee, which is comprised of Renee Johnston, Brian Kozeska, Lauren Collinson, Larry Daly, Tom Miller Jr., Ben Champagne, Carol Cottrell, and Phil Carwatt, as well as organizations who assisted and donated time and materials, including Spicer Engineering, Spence Brothers, and Saginaw Rock Products, and also a lot of other city staff that help make this happen. So you'll probably be able to get a preview if you go down there, but the official unveiling is next Tuesday. Also, our next citywide meeting is this Wednesday, June 11th, 5:30 at the Beacon of Hope Church, 2109 West Michigan. So come learn more about our current road and bridge construction projects, and I know everyone's interested in the timelines for that. I think the Mayor Pro Tem asked this morning about that. So we'll have those updates, as well as what they use selection factors for construction projects, some upcoming road and bridge projects, and water and wastewater infrastructure, as well as overview of parking regulations. You know, several council members talked about all the events that have happened, but we did again this year put together Hot Times Summer Youth Activities Guide. I know we've done that for years and years. I think maybe a year was missed, but the City County School Liaison Committee reinstituted that and has released the online version for youth activities in 2025, a guide to summer activities in Saginaw for area students. You can view that online on the city's website, the school's website, or the county's website. The Saginaw City County School Liaison Committee consists of city, county, and school district representatives who work together on matters of mutual interest for benefit of Saginaw students in the Saginaw community. So these are events all over the county too. So we contact pretty much every township, recreation group, and et cetera, to get these events. I think there are over 30 pages of events this summer. So if you get a chance to check that out and share that with kids, there's a lot of events going on this summer. Also, one that is in that program that I wanted to highlight is Basketball Cop community event. That's this Thursday, June 12th, 12 to 3 at New Birth Missionary Baptist, 3121 Sheridan Avenue. It's free food, games, and more. And I was looking at that today and surprised at just how many agencies are involved in that. I think every local police, the City Fire, Delta College Police, even Frankenmuth Police, and our Saginaw County Alpact Outreach are involved. Additionally, in that Hot Times, we do have something that city staff have been working on, Family Play Dates in the Park series, and I think this is a great event. It highlights the city, a lot of the city amenities that we have in parks. They're going to be throughout the summer. June 6th, so the first one was last week. June 12th is Baseball Day. June 28th is Skateboarding Day. August 8th is Tennis and Pickleball Day, and then August 22nd is Free Play Day. And at these events, the kids learn about the amenities we have, and they learn about some of these sporting events, and they get to take something home. I think every event has something to take home. The tennis event is they get a racket to take home. They get a skateboard to take home from the skate park. So it's great for kids to learn about those things and get something to take home. And I do want to thank Cassie Zimmerman has been working on that grant for quite some time in this project. So I want to thank her for that. And I think those are all the items I had, Madam Mayor.
Do we have any questions for the city manager? Yes, Councilman Ball.
I'm a foreman, so there's a question so that you can comment a little bit. But there was a meeting for the Ojibwe Island, and when they gonna finish putting the rocks up and stuff like that, maybe you can expound on that a little bit, since I forgot.
Yep, I think right now, I think most of the rock has been placed. Yeah, Phil, you can come up. I need a break.
Tim knows everything I know, but I'll just speak for Tim, so. No, so I think it was 4,000 feet of rock stabilization. They're complete with that, so if you drive by, you can see the bank stabilization with the heavy rock riprap, but the contractor does have to drive yet 400 feet of sheet pile. There was an area there where the bank was too steep and too close to the road where we couldn't get the slope to dig out the grade and put heavy rock riprap back. So we got 400 feet of sheet pile, and we're getting the design and the permitting to repave the road and repave all the parking lots. So pulverize, repave it. We're going to narrow the roads up. So the contractor's done now until they're planning on coming back after the 4th of July, and they'll probably need, maybe a couple weeks to drive the sheet pile and maybe a week to build the road. So hopefully in the next month we can get the permits and the design done for the repair of the road portion. So I'm hoping to have everything done and complete before August 1st on Ojibwe. And that'll be the pavilion. Everybody knows there was $100,000 the county, I think, or $125,000 the county gave the city of ARPA, and then $100,000 of our money. So we're sandblasting and painting the pavilion. We're rebuilding the stage, putting a new roof on the existing facility there because that roof's in a deteriorated shape. So we'll have all that completed probably before July 1st, the roof and the building and all that.
And when is the date when we probably be able to walk the park again?
Probably, hopefully the first week of August. Don't hold me to that now. I mean, anything can happen, weather, issues with the people coming in to drive the sheet pile and that. But.
Thank you.
On this end, any questions? Yes.
So I had a couple questions. Number one, I think there was a fence replacement done under the I-675 overpass. There was a big fence replacement. This happened like a month ago. Are you aware of who replaced that fence? I think it's part of the MDOT agreement to maintain that area, but I just wanted to check.
Where's that at, Kevin?
It's under that I-675 overpass right off Michigan Avenue, on Michigan Avenue.
So on the west side there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been our crew, so it would have had to be something that MDOT did.
Okay.
Yeah, I can check into it and get back to you to confirm that.
I would appreciate that.
Okay, I'll talk to their region director over there.
And I had a second question because I've gotten calls because that was the area where there was a homeless encampment that was cleared out by the city. And I've been getting calls because there are homeless individuals now camped under other underpasses where they're much more visible and much less safe, according to the people that I've been getting calls from. And the issue is, I was under the assumption that we were in the process of forming a committee to deal with this. I know that we had an email back and forth where there was consent, but apparently there was an email with another council member where there wasn't consent established from a different opinion. So I'm just wondering, what is the status of this committee, whether or not it's actively being formed, because it's, we're months down the road now.
Yeah, I think the committee formation is a question for your fellow council members. So typically, we'll take direction from council on those committees.
Okay. I was asking because we had a discussion where I specifically asked where the committee formation wasn't on the agenda. I asked if the recommendation from the city attorney was for a council member to have to bring it up under miscellaneous business. And you responded that the city attorney commented that a motion was not necessary, there was consent and no objections.
Well, I think consent would be the bigger point, and I don't know that there was an additional consent. There was discussion. So, again, though, it's incumbent upon council members to act at that point to form the committee.
Okay.
It's not an administrative function to form those committees.
Okay.
Councilwoman Sylvia.
Thank you so very much.
You ain't got your glasses on, so.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, I've had several conversations with you and also citizens, one of which had to do with lead pipes, water pressure, etc. And I've had that conversation with a few people. Can you, or I believe Mr. Field may be able to explain some of that, and that way that it can be explained instead of, well, I won't say it will take away people's opinion, but it will give more of an opinion from someone from the city to our citizens in regards to what's going on, in regards to the lead pipes being replaced, the water pressure in the home, etc.
All right, I'm gonna do my best to.
Okay.
Sure, I mean, I can make this an hour, I'll try to make it 5
Oh, well,
minutes.
let's try to
So,
clarify.
everybody, first of all, understands why we're doing what we're doing, I hope.
Right.
So the state changed the lead copper rule 4 or 5 years ago with the situation that happened in Flint. They mandated that any cities that have lead and/or pipe once connected to lead they gave us 20 years to change all them out, but they gave us 5 years to do what's called a preliminary and a completed distribution systems material inventory. So we have, over the last 5 years, went out and did investigation at every house that has active service and determined, we dug a hole at the curb stop, we dug a hole outside of the house, we went into the meter. Actually, we dug 2 holes, one on the front side of the curb stop and one on the back. And what that is that's the valve on your connection from the main to the house. It's normally right within the parkway or around the sidewalk area. So that's called the curb stop. So there's 2 pieces to that. There's a connection which goes from the main to the curb stop, and then an extension that goes from the curb stop to the meter into the house. Well, historically and actually right now, the extensions aren't the responsibility of the city, nor have they ever been. But under the new unfunded mandate rule by the state, they have became our responsibility. So we're into that program. We got about 3,700 to 4,000 combination of connections and extensions or just extensions completed. So What that means is there have been times, years past, when we weren't responsible for the extension, just the main and the connection, where you put a new water main in the road, we tap it, 3/4 inch connection, take it to the curb stop, put a new curb stop in, and then what we would have to do is, majority of the extensions going from the curb stop to the house were made of either galvanized or lead material. Back then, we were allowed to just reconnect to that material. So what we would do is chase it sometimes. I mean, I was a city engineer back then. I remember being on some projects where maybe on just the back side of the sidewalk, I could cut onto the galvanized, tie on, it was in good shape, but sometimes you turn it back on, and I'm gonna show you a section of galvanized pipe here in a minute. But so long story short, anyway, we gotta take it all the way back to the meter now. We're putting new meters in as we do it, so, but I know there has, so just so you know, out of 3,700 to 4,000 of these so far, the only one complaint I have seen or heard of had been the one, and I don't know if everybody on council was shared, from an individual that lives on, I think, South Woodbridge or North Woodbridge. And what he was saying is that he feels he had a loss in pressure because of the pipe material we chose to, he's saying that he had a copper extension. He already had a copper connection, but his extension may have been partial copper, but the rest of it was galvanized. So what happened was because of the new rule, we have to take that out and put in either copper or some other approved material per AWWA standards. So as part of our projects, what we chose to do, due to price, is this pipe material on the left is what we picked. So back in the early 2020s through COVID, this is copper, 3/4 copper. It was almost impossible to get, plus it's very expensive. So we needed to continue and start doing the replacement of this material. This here is called like PVC blue. It's a SDR9. It's approved by AWWA. It's safe for drinking water. It's probably got 100 or 200 year life. This here is 20 or 75 cents a foot. This is $9 a foot. So not only the inability to get it, but if you times that by the amount of connections and extensions we have to do through the life of this project, you're talking somewhere around $7 to $9 million it would have added to the project. So it only made sense, in our opinion, to do this. The problem the individual has is this is 1/16 less of diameter, inner diameter, than this, because it's a different type material, but they have the same OD, so when you're connecting plastic to copper or whatever else, all the fittings still line up right, so they fit. But that's one of the main reasons that we went with this PVC blue. But what I want to tell you, to go against the argument of him saying he lost pressure, is that this is common type of pipe, galvanized pipe. When we dig this up, and this was actually dug up today on a property that, if you look on the inside of this pipe, this one here don't have a 1/4 inch diameter. I mean, I'll pass it around, but this is galvanized pipe that we dig out of. You can see the corrosion. So, and what affects velocities and pressures in pipe are sectional cross areas. All this corrosion in here is creating friction losses and loss in pipe diameter through the pipe. So this is what we dig up on the backside. So
You know I'm familiar with that.
I know you are.
And I ain't trying to touch it.
So I just wanted to, so 95% of the time when we're replacing the extension, it's a galvanized material. And this was once tied to lead, so what happens is if you look in there and all that corrosion, the lead particulates can get in there, they'll stick in there, so if you re-expose that water to that lead, that's what puts the contaminant.
I was just gonna say, does it contaminate the water?
Yeah, that's why we're replacing this. So, and then I can also tell you that after we did that individual's project, I had and this is what my water department, or even the contractor, because we're doing two things right now. We got a contractor on at Rhodey. He's doing $5 million worth but we do actually check the pressures. So we have been back to that individual's house. We put pressure, meeting my individuals. We don't just do the work and get out. Before we leave, we have to do two things. One, we flushed the new line before the meter to make sure any particulates that were in the connection, the extension, or both get flushed out before we send them through the meter. And then when we're done with that, so we hook a garden hose to that, we'll flush it out into a catch basin or something to make sure them lines are clean. We'll reconnect the meter, and then we'll flush the homeowner's house through each of their faucets, their toilets, You know, one thing that has happened in time, if you see some of them build up within the galvanized extensions, some of that stuff can obviously get into the home. So once you take the pressure off the pipe and you repressurize it, it could move some of them particulates through the house, could get caught up in a 90-degree bend, could get caught up into a lot of people have screens on your sinks. But we go through all of that with the homeowner, and before we leave the house, we ensure they have what we feel to be adequate pressure. So we did the same thing with this individual. We checked pressures throughout the house. We put a pressure reading device on one of the outdoor spigots, and we got 53 pounds per square inch of pressure. Now, he said his pressure used to be double, which would put it over 100. And I know that we only put it out of the plant at 61 pounds. That's the treatment plant. We put it out at 61 pounds, but then through, you know, you lose pressures through length of pipe, through travel, through bends. So, you know, you're only required by AWWA and the Safe Drinking Water Act to provide 35 pounds of pressure at the house. 20 is the minimum for fire flow.
Okay.
But, so, and then even today, so now what I'm doing just to avoid this, I've added to every project we do, whether it's my own crews or the contractors, is I'm having them measure the pressure in the line before they take the line out. And now I'm doing the connection extension at the meter. They're gonna put a pressure reading device, they're gonna measure that pressure and through the house, and then when they're done. And we did one the day before we started, it was 50 PSI, and when we ended, it was 50 PSI. So I'm just trying to give you the confidence, and based on what you've seen, that there should be no reason that anybody should lose pressure. If anything, it should get better as part of this change-out program. So,
Because I've got like, and I'll give you the names and addresses. I've got like maybe 3 more, so I'll give you that information. Okay.
yeah, and what I would like too is if anybody knows of anybody that feels they have an issue, I'll give you a phone number they can call.
Okay.
989-759-1612. And, you know, if they can call that number, somebody will answer and let them know what their concerns are, and we'll get somebody out there right away. But we've had some issues where before we left, the homeowner said there was a pressure problem, but by the time, you know, it's more, it should be a licensed plumber to come in because it's in their own plumbing, but our guys do help them. We're not gonna leave unless they get water flowing, and we'll try to help them to the best of our ability to figure out where the problem could be.
Thank you so much, Phil.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Yes, Councilman Huston.
Just real quick, Phil, you talked about the inventory, and I know we have completed that.
Yeah, so we know what we know other than 700, what exactly we got.
Yeah, so we were like a year ahead of schedule. So do you know how many we have?
Yeah, so we got, right now, I said we changed out between 3,700 and 4,000. We have over 18,000, right around 18,000 active lines. There were 26,822 that were part of the DSMI, but we also had to inventory the abandoned ones. So the other thing we have to do a part of this, not just replace the active lines, but anyone where there was a house demoed. We never, back in the day, you just turn the curb stop off, cut the copper off at the house, bend it over. That's, you abandon it. But now Eagle requires you to take that back to the main. So those are still illicit connections that are in violation of the rule. So there's probably 8,000 to 10,000 of those. And we have about 6,300 more to replace. So you're looking at about right around 10,000 in total that would have to be changed out.
Thanks for mentioning about the vacant lots. Because that, you know, that could be a potential, well, it might look weird that we're, you know, swapping out, but there could be a home built there in the future.
So if you see us digging where there's, we have to take those connections and abandon them back at the main, because if you know, that water is still sitting at that pipe, and if you get a break or something in a vacuum, can pull that contaminated water back into the main and put it into the system, so.
Right, thank you.
But I think we're way ahead of schedule. I think we're 5 years in. I say we did almost 4,000, so I'm hoping in the next 6 to 8 years, which will put us at 14 or 15 years versus 20. If things can continue, you know, we're writing grants. We did get another, we had the 5 million principal forgiveness DWSRF that we did 750 services with Rohde Brothers. And then we just got another, we don't have the grant paperwork on it yet, but we just got another, I think it's 2.3 million from the state again to do some more contracted out service lines. So the more of those we can do, the less impact on the residents.
Right, and that's good information to an 8-year timeline or goal. You know, may or may not hit, but it's something, because people, I still do get questions like, when's that $6.99 or $7.99 coming off my bill? So thanks. All right. Yeah.
So you were mentioning about the.
Hold on. I did this one. I'll go over here.
Okay.
Be right back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Sylvia.
Yes, this is a totally different question. Thank you so much. Also, Tim, we've talked back and forth in length, and it's been a lot of different things going on in the city. I've had several calls, text messages, face-to-face in regards to law enforcement presence. And I won't say misunderstandings, I will say we need to get a clear understanding of things that have been happening, because you get a story here, and something else back here. So there's several incidents, but I'm just gonna be talking about two. And that was one, I believe, was on Collingwood, if I'm not mistaken, and also Avon Street. If we could get some clarity without saying things we maybe shouldn't, put out there. But from some things I've heard, and I did get some information from you and Chief Roof, but I want the citizens to be able to also receive this information from the city as to what happened and the consequences thereof, instead of it just being one way. And then we can move forward after that, because a lot of it's still going back to the presence of the Michigan State Police. And do we keep them? Do we not keep them? Is it needed? Is it not needed? That long story. So if we could get some clarity on those particular incidents, I think the citizens, the clarity coming from the city would be better than just coming from myself trying to explain something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll ask the chief to come up, but I think,
Okay.
Madam Mayor, I think hold on, Chief. I think Councilwoman Hammond had one more for Phil on that water topic.
Was it for Phil? I'm sorry.
It's okay. It is.
Here he comes.
I was just
gonna get
gonna ask it, sorry. The PVC blue pipe, does that mean that it doesn't build lime scale like other pipes do?
No, it still will.
Okay.
All pipes will, yes, once we put our lime stabilization and everything else in it to coat it, but it will. It
Okay.
just, probably not, it won't corrode like galvanized or any other, because it don't have the metal properties in it, right, so.
I was just wondering, because I know that the lime scale has a lot of implications, actually. So thank you for answering my question.
Let me say that. Any other questions for Mr. Carwatt? Thank you, Mr. Carwatt. Now Chief Roof.
Okay, I can clarify for you a few things. Michigan State Police, number one, yes, we do need them in the city. We have to have them. We found out a long time ago, a couple months ago, that there was a party planned in June 3rd and/or June 7th. A couple years ago, on June 3rd, we had several people get killed and ran over at a huge party. We can't tolerate that. We just can't have our citizens getting killed. We can't. The gun violence is just too much. We get word up front. There were probably 35 to 40 officers working last Tuesday in the city, federal, state, and local, because of the partnerships that we have built up. There wasn't a lot going on with the Freaknik that night. Saturday night it did, big time. But at the same time, on Tuesday, last week, at about 9 o'clock at night, there was one incident. It was on Robinwood Street, and I'm not going to say the exact numbers. I'm not going to say any names either. Gentleman standing in the street with a gun. Now, when we do these details, we've got undercover officers out there. They don't know they're cops. But they call for the marked units to come. The minute the marked units come, this guy that's standing in the street hanging onto a gun took off running and ran into a house. Okay, now what's a cop supposed to do? Turn a blind eye? We're out here to get guns off the streets, correct? So, on this particular incident, the gentleman ran into the house. The officers could have followed legally, but they didn't. They surrounded the house from a safety standpoint, ordered the people out of the house. The individual that was carrying the gun did come out of the house, wearing different clothes. What would make him change his clothes? I don't know. It's only for us to guess. But when the gentleman did come out, he was identified as the one that had the gun. He had a CPL permit where he could carry a gun, concealed. That doesn't mean you can stand in the street out in the public hanging onto a gun. And when you do, if you have some CPL holders here, you'll know that when a police officer, you see a police officer, one talks to you, you're supposed to tell him, I have a CCW permit, here's my ID, everything's legal. You don't run away, okay? You stay there and communicate and cooperate with the police. You don't have to run. They could have arrested him, but they didn't. They just let him go, okay? We weren't there for that. We were there for other things. So that incident was done. Well, that incident was taking place at exactly the same time. Another team of officers was in a different part of the city. They responded to a call that happened about Court and State Street. There was a incident where there was a neighbor trouble. A gentleman was over there looking for his girlfriend in the upstairs apartment, and he inquired with the people that lived down below where she was. They don't have any idea where she is. So this gentleman started taking out his anger on them, arguing, got to the point where he took his car and rammed their vehicle several times. This is witnessed by a lot of neighbors in the neighborhood. We were getting calls like crazy. As the officers are going to this call, 911 gets more calls from neighbors that the gentleman just returned. So he must not have lived too far away. He just returned with a gun, and he started shooting at the car and the house that the people were in. Now, we go there, we get information. At this point in time, the girlfriend comes home. She tells us who he is. She tells us where he lives. So we go there. Guess what we find parked in the parking spot for his apartment? A car with damage that's consistent with the damage on the victim's vehicle over on Court and State Street. So, at this point, we think about officer safety, because you got somebody who's shooting a gun at people for, in my eyes, no reason. And obviously in their eyes, no reason. So, yes, we surround the house. We order people to come out of the house. Couldn't get any communication. Tried for probably half an hour. We knew he was in there. So we got our Bearcat, drove it up to the house so the officers could get up there closer to the home, and they're safe. Over the loudspeaker, they told people to come out of the house. A couple minutes later, the roommate of the suspect came out. He was being deceitful. He said the suspect wasn't in the apartment. Yeah. A couple minutes later, he called the suspect, told him to come on out. He came out of the apartment. No incidents, no issues at all. Put in cuffs, everything was fine. Then 2 family members show up with a suspect. Now we're going to go to Facebook. I know people in high places. I'm going to complain. We know this, we know that. I want to get in the house. You're not going into the house. They're going to do a search warrant. The house is secured. And when the search warrant gets here, we're going to search. Well, there's nothing in there. We want to go in the house. It's not going to happen. The officers are very, very polite. And finally, it got to the point where you're either going to leave or you're going to be under arrest. They got arrested. So the officers were nice. They just issued them a citation and told them at this point, leave. If they wouldn't have left, then they would have went to jail. They left. Issue was resolved. Search warrant was conducted probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, maybe 3 hours. It takes a while to get a search warrant, 10, 11 o'clock at night. The gun was in the house, and it matched shell casings that were found at the scene on Court and State Street, and 2 shell casings that were in the vehicle that was parked behind his house that he was using. So that's a rock-solid case. The warrant was issued on Thursday. He was arraigned on Friday. So, citizens, you can't believe half the stuff you hear on Facebook because you're only getting half of the story, and you're getting the story that that person that's writing that article on Facebook wants you to hear, the negative portion of it. We have to have the state police in this city. We need the federal agencies in this city. That's why we partner with them. So when we get events like this, I can ask for help, and we get the help that we need to keep our citizens safe. And obviously on Saturday night it worked. We took 16 guns off the street during this so-called safe party that they were going to have. And those were guns that people were shooting at other people or shooting off, or we saw known felons that were carrying guns. There were 7 or 8 other people on Saturday night that had CPLs, that had guns on them. We didn't take their guns. So there really were probably well over 20 guns at these incidents. We just got lucky and got 16 of them. I guarantee you there were double that, if not more, that we couldn't get our hands on. There were a lot of people, a lot of people. And if it wasn't for the federal, state, and our local agencies, we would have had a mess in the city of Saginaw. But because we care about the city, they all came to help. And you know, sometimes people are going to be upset when their family members are arrested, or some get upset just because they're talked to by the police. Our officers, the troopers, the ATF agents that were here, the bayonet officers that were working, they're all professional. They're being very friendly and very nice to the people, trying the best that they can. But we can't allow people to carry guns illegally in the city. That's how people are dying, totally. Friday night, there was a party, and 2 people ended up getting shot because of a block party. Didn't have anything to do with these other events, but you know, we got to get these guns off the streets. Just like Councilman Ball says, we got to get the guns out of the hands of the people that don't know how to use them and don't respect other people. Any other questions?
Yes.
Not a question, but a comment. So Saturday night, I saw a lot of the activity in Old Town via social media. We could hear the stuff going on. Thankfully, MSP was in the sky. And we were just sitting on the back porch, and at 10:15, I've only had 2 instances in the city where I've had gunfire in front of the house. One was a few years ago, car stops in front of the house, starts shooting. I don't know what the hell they're shooting at, but we were just in the backyard. Saturday night, we're on the back porch where I'm always at because I don't have air conditioning, I have a Victorian home. We hear the gunshots at Sheridan in Hoyt. Next thing you know, he's at Hoyt in Weddock, right in front of my house with us on the back porch, and then just out of the SUV and start shooting. At that time, you don't know where in the hell they're shooting. But thankfully, we could see his arm was in the air. Neighbor comes running out of the house, giving his kid a bath on the 2nd floor. I mean, I've been in the vicinity of, that's 30 feet from my back porch. And when that's happening, you don't know what is going on. Do you take cover? Do you hit the ground? I was actually in shock. I didn't even know what to do. We called the police, we called 911, and then we started to hear the helicopter come towards our area because they were in the air. So I just wanted to share you with that. So
they brought the resources in for us.
Thank you for what you're doing for the city to keep it safe.
We appreciate it. They did bring the resources in. It wasn't just in an isolated area on Hamilton Street. It was all over the city, and we kept chasing the groups around and taking guns. And a lot of people did get arrested that night. They did, that were carrying illegal guns.
You never know where it's going to happen, and it can happen in your own backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from Mr. Manager? Yes, Councilman Ball.
Thank you, Chief. Fine job. Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Michael gave a compliment. Go ahead, Mike.
It's only the people that need it.
Do we have any more questions of the city manager? Madam Clerk.
This is the consent agenda.
The consent agenda has been available at City Hall and on the city webpage and on SG channel. Do I still say that? Is it still on the TV? No. Good. I had to ask. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, leaving room for exceptions.
So moved.
It's been moved and supported. Do we have any exceptions? Yes.
Number 2.
Yes.
Number 3. Oh, sorry. Number 3.
Yes.
Number 4.
Okay, so 2, 3, and 4 are exceptions. Any more? I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, leaving room for the exceptions. Oh, I did it already.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Item number 2 is to approve the introduction of the proposed amendments to the City Council Rules of Order. That was Councilmember Sylvia.
Okay, thank you very much. As I was looking at the changes, excuse me, which would be section 22, continuing education, number 2. It just seems like, what is it there for? Because it's already written. All of this stuff is already written in the council rules. We already know we have to vote. Let me look, I gotta put this up a little closer, I'm sorry. We already know that a member that can benefit financially from a vote, that they can't vote, and it's in here in this piece that we're trying to approve. It's already in the council rules that person cannot vote. So I'm wondering why it's in here again. It makes no sense to have it in here. And it just doesn't make sense to have this extra added in here at all, to me.
There were several concerns that were raised by members of council and some administrative staff after the council meeting in which Councilmember Hammond had made the motion to approve her hotel and mileage for a conference that she had attended. Ms. Hammond did participate in that vote. And the conflict of interest issue was raised.
Whose fault was that?
Ms. Hammond's.
I got a question. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, yes.
I understand if a person, you said to benefit. If a person benefits to go to a conference that the city council can go to, then how is she benefiting for going to that conference if she's bringing back information for the city? It ain't like she's, it's not like a contract that you want if she works for Spice Engineering and she's trying to get something passed so she can work for Spicer Engineering. I mean, I don't think that's fair. That if she just want to go to a conference and bring it up, I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm gonna vote no on this because I don't see anything wrong with a person going to a conference that's going to help our city and bring back information to this city. I think we need to have more people to explore opportunities for this city so we can bring more stuff here. We have groups of people that do stuff for the city, and then we have other people that do stuff for themselves. But when a person works for that volunteer their time here for the city council, they go to a conference to bring back information for us, I think it's fine. I don't think that even need to be considered. That's my opinion.
And I would just say, again, it's for council to have discussion on, but there were concerns raised by members of council about, first, attending conferences that are outside of the norm that might not fit within the city budget. And the second was whether or not there was a conflict of interest. And the onus is, first and foremost, on a member of council to address their own financial conflicts of interest.
So I
guess it's really more for a discussion point with your fellow council members who.
So I guess what you're just saying, it's okay for us to go, it's just we can't vote on our own thing that what we're saying. Is that correct? Is that what I'm understanding? So like I know like for the ARPA dollars, I know like Mr. Voss, he couldn't vote because he was part of that organization, so he excluded himself. So is that what you're saying that we would have to do?
Well, I think the first step is that if a member of council wants to attend a conference that again is outside of the norm, that isn't the MML normal conferences that you guys attend that aren't budgeted for, that is first approved by council because there might need to be a budget amendment or a budget adjustment made so that can be funded properly. There are limited funds within council's training budget. And then the second matter, yes, goes to members of council, and Clerk Bolzmann just put on a training that financial conflicts of interest were part of the discussion, and that if a member of council has a financial conflict of interest in a vote, they are not supposed to participate in that vote.
Okay, can I finish?
Hold on
please?
1 minute.
Can I finish? Okay, thank you.
Hold on.
Okay, well, who, me? Who was it?
Both y'all, I wanted to say something. You asked a question. Whose fault is it? I don't know who complained or who said anything, but I need the record to state it's all our fault. Okay? I'm gonna own it. Because, no, nobody thought about her voting. Or, it was a vote. And so I understand that we want to change the rules. Well, not change them, enforce them. But on this one, Councilwoman Sylvia asked, whose fault was it? I don't own it, because I really didn't. I mean, I read enough stuff every day that I didn't think about Robert Rules of Order or the procedure, and so I can't blame anybody.
Mayor, real quick, before we recognize anybody else to speak, we need a motion to approve so that we can be in discussion.
You gotta speak up, because I can't hear.
Before we move on and you recognize anyone else to speak, we need a motion to approve so that you can continue your discussion.
So, did y'all hear what she said?
Yes.
Bad y'all did, because I sure didn't. So we got a motion on the floor. Not yet.
You need a motion.
To continue the discussion?
Yeah.
Oh,
I need a motion to continue the discussion.
no, that ain't the motion. She said the motion to,
Well, okay, so you need a motion to approve in a second to continue discussion. If there's no motion, discussion's over.
I just said I need a motion. Discussion over. Discussion over. Let's go. That was your question.
So I guess this dies or what?
You still need a motion because you've held it out. You still need a
Remember,
motion.
we gotta put it out to vote for.
Motion to approve consent agenda item number 2.
Support.
So now can we continue discussion?
Now, we vote. No, we can continue the discussion.
Okay, can I finish? I don't see where, and I'm not picking out any particular council person. When I look and read this, I looked at all council persons, not just one. I don't see how anyone, since Councilperson Hammond was mentioned, I don't see how she benefited financially by going to a conference that benefited this whole city. Let me finish, please. And if the money is not there, I think this just should not have even been here. If the money is not there, why would council vote on it if we don't even have the money? It makes no sense. Vote on, if it's no money, you wouldn't ask council to even vote on this because there's no money there to vote on for anyone else to go on a particular conference for whatever the reason is. So why is this here? And some of this is repetitive because it's already in our council rules. All we have to do is do them.
I think I can help.
Are you finished? Councilwoman?
For right this now.
You finished.
Okay.
Yes.
I can help. So when we were here at that council meeting that night, Councilwoman Hammond said, well, it's in your packet, the travel policy. That travels policy was not part of my council manual because my manual's from 2018, but you all have the newer version. Okay, so I don't have that tab. But I did get that afterwards, and I read the travel policy. Travel policy pertains to city staff as well as it does to us. And that should have, I would have brought it up that night. That should have been approved prior. Where's the money coming from? Because it's not in the budget. So where was the money? And that's what we should have, it should have been a real formal motion for, I mean, I didn't have a problem with their going, but just where's the money gonna come from so that we could have known explicitly per our travel policy of where that was coming. So I think that, I hope that it helps answer your question. And then rolling back to this, so, and then when I got home that night too, I was questioning myself. It's like, okay, so if I'm voting on money to go to a conference, I'm actually allocating money from the budget to me. I'm benefiting financially from the city to do something. Where like our other conferences are already covered because that's under different budget. Thank you, Tim Morales, he actually dips into his budget to help pay for us to go to conferences. And so I'm really hoping that this year, and I think we should have a budget for each council member if you're gonna go to a conference, and when that money's gone, it's gone. And we decide what that is. If it's MML conferences, maybe it's $500, because that's probably what it costs to go.
Okay.
You know, but anyways, the ideas, these are things for us to figure out
Yeah,
amongst
and we
ourselves.
need to sit down and figure it out. But let me say this, and this is just me. If it's dependent upon me possibly missing a conference so that you could go to a conference that's gonna benefit this city, I'll opt out to not go to that conference because I know that you're going to bring back this information to the city. So that shouldn't be a hard one. But I'm just putting myself out there right now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman, I'm sorry, Councilwoman.
It's okay. I'm trying to remember the meeting, but I thought it was directed and handled the way it was handled. Like the motion was brought up, and I don't see how it was done incorrectly. Now, if you look, maybe hindsight, maybe you would do it differently, but I don't see it how it was incorrect, the way it was handled. And again, kind of repeating what Councilman Sylvia is saying, it benefits the whole entire city. And that's why there's 9 of us here. As like, people have specific things that they're good at. So I think it would handicap us if we adopt this in the verbiage that it's written in. I understand the reason, but I don't see it as being beneficial financially to anyone to go to a conference that is set up like an MML meeting. And if the money is there, it's available, it should be used. And I remember City Manager Morales saying, yes, it's going to come. We asked, where's this money coming from? And he said, it's going to come out of my budget. So we knew where it was coming from. So I don't see where this is. Well, when the question was asked, because I said, where is this money coming from? And you said, probably out of my budget.
Well, so I'll comment about the city council's budget, just for clarification.
Mm-hmm.
So in the past, council training, part of council training has come from the city manager's training budget. And when we just approved the entire city's budget. So in the budget, when you develop the budget documents, you can approve specific items. So we've always put into the budget document for council training to be MML and National League of Cities, which are the 2 large organizations that we belong to as a city, and council approves that. So in the past, and I know several of you have asked about this in the past, different conferences, it puts some city staff in a bad position when a request for training reimbursement is made. And I'm not saying ever it's been inappropriate where it's been after the fact or something. It's in advance, but usually those come into my administrative staff, and they typically say, well, how do we answer that? It's a little bit different from department training. So our response has always been bring it back to council and ask for the approval, which is what happened. So that's the way we always tell people, bring it back to council for approval. Now, to the point of, and I think this is where council probably, you need to have discussion on how to allocate your budgets, because we don't want to keep paying for training and different things for one business unit out of another one. So you're not accurately reflecting the cost if we keep paying for council training out of the manager's budget. So in the long run, you'll probably have to do a budget adjustment from general fund balance to your training account, which you probably would have had to do anyway because you don't have enough in there to cover the fall conference and the winter conference and any National League of City things that come up. So in the long run, I would recommend you doing that anyway, just so we change the way we're not transferring between business units. So eventually that will come up. So you probably want to work amongst yourselves and say, hey, these are the trainings that are important to us, or however you all want to do it. If you just want to increase the training budget, send that communication to me, and then we put a budget adjustment in and we allocate more to that amount. But that would require, a vote.
So it's possible to revisit this verbiage and come up with something else.
Yeah, I mean, you can do, whatever you want with these rules. And with the budget, however you all determine that you want to manage your budget. But I think, that's something to think about, and it's probably been something that we should recommend doing before, because the training has increased a lot, which is a good thing for council. The mayor has been a huge advocate, and I'll tell you, we used to be maybe 2 or 3 council members go to the MML, and now you all go. So it's time to look at that stuff again to make sure that your budgeting reflects the activities that you want to do.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Thank you. I'll hopefully round off this discussion. I agree with getting a more clear budget for this kind of thing. I think it's going to come up again, and that makes sense to me. That's not what this motion does. Second, I just want to say that I am aware of the council rules about recusing from voting and getting an opinion from the city attorney where there's a question of a financial benefit. I think the reason why this motion goes out of its way to define it as a financial conflict of interest is because it clearly wasn't there when we had the vote. So I didn't get paid to go to this conference. I took time out of my workday to go. I got reimbursed for travel, and the payment for the hotel is directly between the city and the hotel. So if some people want to say that they believe that's a financial interest, I think that's a really big stretch, but sure, and we can have that discussion. In fact, I do believe that the council rules should be better defined around financial interests. I think it's very vague in our council rules. So I would welcome that discussion. I think it should be had. I also welcome a discussion about being clear about budget on training. That's not what this motion does. I would heavily encourage looking into both of those things for rule changes to define it so that both us and the public can have a better understanding of what we need to do and how we can serve our citizens better. With that, I'll call for the question.
Support.
Was there a motion? Okay. There's a motion on the floor. Can you state that again, Ms. Councilwoman Hamby? Did you make the motion?
It was a motion to call the
right?
question.
Call the question.
It was a question or a motion?
She called
Called for the question.
Oh, she called for the question.
Yes.
I told y'all I can't hear. Did I get a second?
Yes, ma'am.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Now we're back to the original vote, right?
Yeah, just take your vote.
Okay. Tell me again what the original vote is.
Item number 2 is to approve the introduction of the proposed amendments to the City Council Rules of Order. Introduction of, you're not passing anything, it's the introduction of the amendments.
Okay, call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Sylvia.
No.
Councilmember Ball.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Nay.
I'm sorry.
Nay.
Councilmember Ostash.
No.
Councilmember Braddock.
No.
Councilmember Wiggins.
No.
Councilmember Hammond.
No.
And Mayor Moore.
No.
You have 8 noes and 1 absent. That motion is denied. On to item number 3. It's to approve the purchase agreement with River Caddis Communities LLC for 126 North Franklin. That was Councilmember Wiggins.
Yes. Hi, Cassie.
Hey.
I have just I did a little looking into River Caddis communities. Are they based in Michigan?
Yes, they're out of Lansing.
They're out of Lansing.
It's their headquarters.
Okay. How did you make that happen?
Actually, it was a recommendation from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. They have, Joe Frost there has really latched onto the Behringer Building. Luckily, we have a lot of friends at different levels of government, and so they've been recommending it. And he recommended it to River Caddis, and we started working with them back in January to come up with this agreement.
And it's not demolishing anything, right?
No,
Okay.
definitely not.
Thank you. Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved to second. Any more discussion? Yes.
Real quick, you brought up demolition. So currently, the Behringer Building is under study by the Historic District Commission, and according to the state law, PA 169, and our local ordinance, when it's under study, it can't be. It has to go before them for any exterior alterations, which also protects it from the demo. So, yeah.
Wait, let me
And
check
that-
this in.
and that should be done pretty soon.
She don't have no question. Yes, Councilwoman Hammond.
Thank you. So I'm super excited to see this developer come in particularly. I'm super excited to see this building get some attention. I was just wondering, we're gonna be continuing in partnership with them, River Caddis, continuously. Have they expressed any interest in perhaps doing some kind of historic restoration or trying to get all that stuff worked out? It's gonna be a big project.
Mm-hmm. They have quite a large team, so they have their own attorneys and financial capital folks, so that they will be working over the next couple of years, making sure that the project can cash flow and make sense. And we're very lucky to have them in Saginaw, and I'm excited for this project to happen.
Oh,
Got
that's
some
you
people
guys?
sitting here.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi! Oh my gosh. Okay, great. Well, all I'll say to this is, I'm really excited for this development. I know they're a reputable developer in the area of affordable housing as well. So I'd be really, really excited to see those opportunities see their way through, make it happen in Saginaw. I'm super excited about it.
I think I mentioned it over and over again, that there are people who are looking at Saginaw. We are not just the eyesore. And so for the individuals who are bidded on this building, who want to work on this building, they come highly recommended by a lot of people throughout the state. So with that, I'd like to say, again, thank you all for entrusting Saginaw as being the pit stop of y'all next venture. So, council members, it's a lot of things that'll change, getting ready to change.
Oh, that's good.
So we all just gotta get on the bandwagon and see what we can find and how we can get in and how we can help. So I'm excited about this movement, carrying over to some other movements that are going on in the city. Did you want to say something, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I would like to know about some of those events too, and I'm sure the rest of the city council would like to know. You know, is it privileged information or what?
No,
But
no.
Anyway, excuse me. So what they plan on doing with the building?
Fixing it.
It's going to be a mixed-use building, so the first floor will have retail, hopefully a restaurant, maybe some other things, and then the upper floors will be residential.
Okay, cool. All right.
What was it in the past? What did they?
It actually was developed as an office building, so it's had a lot of different types of offices in it, but I don't believe it's ever had residential in it.
No. Well, it did, but they worked in the building, so. Yes, ma'am.
It did, I used to work in that building for years. It had the radio station there, it did have retail there, it also had beauty salons there, it did have food there, that was my favorite thing, no, I'm just playing. It has so many different things, so many offices there. One of your first African-American newspapers was there, ran by yours truly. A lot of things there.
Dawn of a New Day was there at one point.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
It wasn't Dawn of a New Day, though. It was
Yeah,
another
it was
one.
Dawn of a New Day.
Was it Dawn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's motion to approve it.
Okay. So, we still discussing?
Can I make a point about the building too?
Yeah.
That's
don't need my permission to run this show.
That's where the transformational brownfield legislation was signed into law.
Oh,
We did it.
no way.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
That's cool. When?
I forgot about it.
When Governor
Maybe like
Snyder signed it, what year was that?
2016, 17, something like that, I think.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve number three.
We already got a
We
motion.
already got the motion. But now I'm gonna call for the vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Item number 4 is to approve the extension of the professional services agreement with Phil Ike, DBA Storyville LLC for fiscal year 2026 and fiscal year 2027 for an annual amount of $57,000 to provide social media content for the city. That was Councilmember Hammond.
Thank you. So, I had some points, and I was hoping Mr. Ike would be here to ask him some questions, go back and forth over discussion. I do have a question, whoever can answer it from our city staff here. I believe Mr. Ike's company has another contract with Riverfront. Is that organization connected to the city at all?
So you mean not the Riverfront Commission, the Riverfront Saginaw group? No.
Okay.
It's not a city organization, and I don't know if they still have if he still has a contract with them. That group hasn't met for probably, I'd say, 3 or 4 years, maybe even. We do fund part of this through the DDA, so he helps promote businesses in the district too.
You said DDA?
Yeah, the
okay,
DDA.
Okay,
yep.
sorry. Okay. I brought this about because I get really wary of contracts, and I really do like the work that Storyville has done. I think it's a net benefit for the city, but I do get wary of contracts for independent contractors that are salary-based, especially for a long-term contract. Billable contract hours are a lot more transparent ways of doing things, in my opinion, especially when you're talking about things that take variable hours. So the contract that was included now in our packet talks about the, services and deliverables, talking about social media, including 2 posts a day, including 1 story of the week, and then several community events. I think there's 7 listed. Monthly content calendar, monthly marketing team meeting, and technical assistance, which I'm not sure constitutes 40 hours a week. Maybe it does. I don't believe that it does, just from the amount of other contracts I know currently that this company has. So if you're not doing 40 hours a week, that drives up the the hourly cost, right? So I would prefer to see a billable contract hour model for this contract. Do you have some information?
I don't have specifics as far as what he works weekly, but I think he's willing to jump in. I mean, it's well more than 11 events a month and 2 posts a day. So we may even come out paying more if we asked him to log his hours.
Really?
And, yeah. And I can say that probably a year ago, I think it was 24, we went out for bids. And they were significantly higher than the 57,000. They also were from Texas, Florida, Washington State, New York. So to grasp the idea of somebody from New York doing our social media, I think we're very fortunate to have Phil.
I would add that I asked Vicki to come up because she works with Phil, daily on the communications, but they do have, and Vicki heads up our city marketing team. If you recall, we did this because of part of our redevelopment ready communities. It's something that they recommend. But from my view, with Phil Ike, and Vicki can correct this if my view is incorrect, but he has really, his services have become in very high demand, and not even just in our region, but he does a lot of work out of state. And I think he kind of kept us on because he does have an affinity for the city and helping us out.
Yes.
And, I can say he's at everything. He's always at at the city events or non-city events where council members attend to get those kind of photos and stories.
Yes, Councilwoman Wiggins.
Oh.
We need a motion. Say it again.
Motion to approve. Second.
Not discussion.
I can attest that, that amount for the work that I've seen is not ridiculous for social media. Ran a company, I got several bids for, someone to manage our social media, their team, and it was between $5,000 and $8,000 a month. And so, I can, and I've seen, Phil's work, and the way you said he jumps in, like, I was in the parade and just saw him out of the blue. There he was, just just taking pictures and doing his thing. And it takes time to edit all of that. It takes time to compose all of that. And yeah, I love what he's done for the city and how I've seen it grow outside of even the city and what he does for other places. So yeah.
Yes.
I just have a comment about Phil, because my master's is in business and marketing, and that's a great tool that we have here at the city of Saginaw, and we definitely need him on board, because he brings all those stories, and when you read them, it feels like you are a part of that story. And I see him all over the places too, like you said, events, taking pictures, and he's great at what he does. And when he does city council, I thought that was so nice that he highlights us so that the community knows what we're doing, where our background is, and why we wanted to be on council. So I think that's a great asset to have. I don't see too many other cities in the state of Michigan that are doing something like this. So I really think that this marketing tool is really great, and we can't lose Phil. So
We invariably get calls from people asking, who does your social media? And he's known for the way he tells his stories in these posts. So he started with Saginaw, and he's really grown from there.
Can I call for the question, please?
Second. Of course.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, go back to the original motion, and I need a motion to.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve.
It's already on.
It's been moved. Okay, call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Madam Clerk.
Mayor, that takes us to board, commission, and committee reports.
Do we have anyone who has been to a city board that wants to talk about what they've done in the last 2 weeks? I'm waiting on y'all.
Yes, I do. You want to, yeah, you the chair, you report.
No. No. Y'all gonna report?
I got you.
Come on.
All right, we'll go. We had the Jailway Committee meeting. It went well with the Riverfront Association. And that committee, we really, well, let me slow down. We really came together to ensure the safety of the park, the safety of the park, the access, even the design of the park. And so right now, everyone is, anticipating it to be open. And so we're looking to, right now, it's under, everybody knows it's under maintenance and everything. So as soon as the park is done, I think it's going to be a beautiful place. You have a lot of great minds in that meeting. So, we're looking to, I think mainly our main focus to ensure that the park is safe for the public to experience when they experience, and then also to look at future events happening at Ojibwe, within the arts, music, and entertainment. So the committee is also looking, going to observe how the park is being used and make sure that it maintains the safety for our public and for our people.
Anyone else? Yes.
Just to tag on to Councilman Braddock's comments, because I'm also on that committee with him. It was nice to have the Saginaw County Parks Director there, because he did bring a lot to the table. So, and we will be meeting fairly shortly in the future. Keeping it moving.
Y'all did a fine job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Y'all know in the meeting, It was said to get together who was gonna do it, that's why I was looking at them.
That's 2 in 1 day. We got 2 crop on.
Yeah, that's two, y'all got some brownie points for that. You get some points. Okay, Madam Clerk,
Takes us to appointment of board, commission, and committee members.
we have 3, and so we're gonna do them all at the same time. On the board appointment, I need a motion to approve 1, 2, 3.
So moved.
Leaving room for exceptions. It's been moved in second. Any exceptions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Takes us to ordinance introduction. Our first is an ordinance to amend section 92.30, adopted fire code amendments of chapter 92, fire protection and public safety, of Title IX, general regulations of the City of Saginaw Code of Ordinances O-204.
I need a motion to introduce.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our second ordinance is to amend all of Chapter 153 zoning code of Title 15, land usage of the City of Saginaw Code of Ordinances O-204.
You know what, I need to go back and say that when we introduced it, this will be laid over. Okay, I'm sorry. Number 2, she read, I'll get it this next time. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
This ordinance will be laid over under the provisions of the state law. Madam Clerk.
On to resolutions. Our first is authorizing the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages during the specified community event.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved. Report.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our second resolution is the official intent to reimburse project expenditures with bond proceeds and authorizing publication of notice of intent to issue sewage disposal system revenue bonds through the State of Michigan Clean Water State Revolving Fund Program.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in support. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our third resolution is the official intent to reimburse project expenditure with bond proceeds and authorizing publication of a notice of intent to issue water supply system revenue bonds through the State of Michigan Drinking Water Revolving Fund Program.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved in support. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
On to miscellaneous business.
Do we have any motions? I know we've got one on the table, but do we have any other motions? Yes, Councilwoman Hammond.
I have a motion to direct staff to draft an ordinance for the formation of a commission on homelessness to engage community stakeholders and develop policy recommendations to the council for consideration at the June 23rd meeting.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any discussion? Yes.
Just real quick, the motion is for an ordinance? To form, like an ordinance commission, like the Human Rights Commission? Okay,
Because we need it in that format in order for it
Gotcha.
to be OMA compliant.
okay, good. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just for the clerk, I just emailed you a copy of it. Did you get it? Okay.
Call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? When is this supposed to come about?
So the motion was to direct staff to work on the actual ordinance drafting for consideration at the next meeting.
Okay. There's a there,
We just voted on it.
okay, that's passed.
Do a motion to adjourn, man.
Second.
No.
We have one more.
We got an item on there and I'm waiting on the item. Number 1, if you look under miscellaneous, you have a motion. Did everybody see it? Did everybody see it?
Yes.
Okay, so I need a motion. I need a motion to receive and file.
So moved.
This is a motion to receive and file the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Huh?
Second.
I thought I did hear a second on the side of me. See, now I can hear that, but I can't hear y'all when y'all talking over there. Okay, it's been moved in second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed,